Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're good and I hope you're well. It's another edition of the 3 questions on Tottenham on tour. I am joined with a good friend of mine, Mark, the Cookmeister. How are you, Mark?
Hello, Brian. Nice to see you, mate. I hope you're well.
All good, buddy. All good, buddy. So I have 3 simple questions for you, and they are starting with this one. Why or when did you become Levy Out?
In a short answer to that, Brian, it was basically when the club was bought, and it was said basically we've bought Tottenham Hotspur to make a profit.
Yep.
You know, it's all about making money. And since then, nothing has really changed since they've took over. You know, money's been invested, but it's been invested incorrectly as far as I'm concerned. So that's just how it is for me, Brian. I've never wanted him here since they made that statement.
Mate, so you're a day dotter. I've done a lot of them. Done a lot of these videos. Not one person has said from the second they bought the club. You're the first, mate. You're the first. I weren't far behind you, Martin Yole, but absolutely bang on reason for it. Second one for you, Mark, buddy, is why is it important for people to attend the protest if they can get there? Now, I keep saying this to people. The reason I'm saying if you can get there, it doesn't need to be if you have a match ticket. If you can get to London, if you are in London and you feel this way, you can be a big part in Jay and the Change for Spurs' march along the high road, where your voices can be heard and obviously your frustrations can be aired. So, Mark, why do you reckon it is important that people that can get to these protests get to them?
Well, it's very important, Brian, because at the end of the day, the supporters have a voice. So whatever your stance on the club is, it's very important that if people have a grievance, for argument's sake, over the ownership, to get to the protest and make your voice heard.
There you go.
It's just imperative, Brian. If people don't speak up in whatever way they can, then they can't be heard, and it doesn't get out there that people are unhappy. So for me, get there if you can. Make sure your voice is heard. Get your point across.
There we go. Great answer. And the final one for you, Mark. What does change at Tottenham look like for you? Now, obviously, there's many answers. Some have said the removal of Ange. Some have said Lange. Some have said Daniel Levy aside and not making football decisions. For me, it's ENIC and Levy out the door with no ownership at all, no power. But for you, Mark, what does change look like?
Well, change for Tottenham for me, Brian, is about, as a supporter, our club having ambition. For me, there hasn't been, very little ambition shown from Levy and ENIC while they've been in their tenure. Now, I don't know if you can see, I've got my shirt on, Brian.
Yep.
This means everything to me, right? Apart from my kids, right? Tottenham is the next best thing in my life and always has been. So change for Tottenham for me is having ambition and getting some trophies in the door for our supporters. That is what change for Tottenham is for me.
Well, there
ambition.
You go.
I want people in charge, Brian, that have got ambition to win things for our club, because the main reason is that's why we support our team, because we want to have trophies. We want to be up there contending. We're nowhere near, mate. We're nowhere near.
Well,
nowhere near.
Mark, thank you very much indeed for taking the time. Everybody, check out Mark's new channel, which is simply called
The Two Marks Show.
There you go. So there you go. People, have an enjoyable rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, Levy out.